What is up, guys? We're back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going over my brand new PC build. Now, I actually built a really powerful, awesome system about 5 years ago. It was my pride and joy. I mean, I loved this build and it served me pretty well over the past 5 years, but then some weird things started happening. The USB ports would just like randomly reset, and when you're trying to do streams and other things, that's just obviously not the best thing. Sometimes it would randomly restart, and it just kind of started deteriorating on me, really. And instead of just replacing the motherboard, which would have fixed a lot of the issues, I wanted to do a brand new PC build. Now, I wanted a lot more power. I wanted things to be kind of, up to date. I wanted more connectivity options. So I went ahead and did a brand new PC build. You can kind of see it behind me. Now, it's not that big, but it is pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, before we go ahead and get started, here is a full rundown of everything that is in the system. I will have links below where you can go ahead and pick everything up as well. To start things off with the motherboard, I went with the Asus ROG Crosshair 8 Extreme. This is probably the best X570 motherboard out there. It was definitely my favorite when I reviewed it. I really like it for all of the M.2 connectivity options that you get, as well as the really cool OLED screen. For the processor, I wanted something powerful, so the obvious choice was the AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. This is a 16-core, 32-thread processor, so this is definitely going to be able to handle all of my daily tasks, gaming, and of course, video editing. When it came to the memory, it really was a no-brainer for me. I think most people doing a sort of white theme build obviously went with white memory, but I wanted something a little bit different. So I went with the Trident Z Royal RGB. We have 64 gigabytes running at 3600 megahertz. And the main reason I really picked this memory is because the Chrome heat spreader is gonna match the Chrome on the motherboard. And this memory just looks absolutely amazing. When it comes to storage, I am going to be doing all Gen 4 NVMe M.2 drives. I want the fastest speed possible, and that is what I'm going to get here. So I went for 3 different drives. I have the WD Black SN850X, the Lexar NM800 Pro, and the SK Hynix Platinum P41. Now, this motherboard actually supports 5 M.2 drives out of the box, but I think 3 is a really good start. And of course, these drives are extremely easy to install because we have the toolless locking system. When it comes to the case, I went with the Lee & 011 Dynamic Mini, the Snow Edition, which is all white. And I know everybody has done a Lee & 011 some type of build over the past couple years, but I absolutely love this case. I love that it's really made to show off all of your components inside, and it looks absolutely beautiful. You can't do a Lee & 011 dynamic build without using the Lee & Uni fans. These fans are awesome. One of the things I really love about these fans is that you can actually snap them together, which not only makes them easier to install in your system, so again, you just snap them together and then place them in your system. Beyond that, when they are snapped together, that daisy chains them all together, both power and RGB. And then you have just 2 connections coming off of the end fan. If you've ever done any type of RGB fans or anything like that, you have tons of different connections. This just simplifies things, and it's one of the main reasons why I chose these fans. For those of you who do want to do a build in the Lee & 011 Dynamic Mini, keep in mind that it only supports SFX and SFXL power supplies. So we went with the Cooler Master V850. This is a great modular power supply, and of course, we got it in white. To keep with the sort of all-white theme of our build, I went ahead and picked up some power supply extension cables from Asia Horse. These are gonna look really good. Now, it is a bit tedious to go ahead and install all of those cable combs, but once you're all done, it's gonna look so much better than the stock power supply cables that came with our unit. Installing our motherboard in the O11 Dynamic Mini is a bit tricky. One, because it is an extended ATX motherboard. Now, this case does officially support extended ATX motherboards, but the board itself will actually overhang the motherboard tray a bit. That's gonna make it a little bit, just kind of hard to route all of your cables around to the back side of your case. So just make sure that you have all of those cables that connect to the far edge of the board, have those all connected already, and then route them around as you're installing the motherboard. It's just gonna make things so much easier later. To cool off my CPU, I went with the Phanteks Glacier 1 360 MPH, which is an all-in-one liquid CPU cooler. It is all white, which of course is going to match our build. Now I went ahead and replaced the fans with Lian Li Uni fans, so we have all matching fans throughout our build. Many people think that you actually can't install a 360mm radiator on the top part of the case without running into some type of clearance issue with your memory. Now, luckily, somebody has made an adapter. I got ours from Grateful Glitters. I'll go ahead and put a link where you can go ahead and pick it up in our description. But it's basically a piece of acrylic that moves the radiator as well as your fans away from your motherboard, giving you enough clearance for your memory. So basically what you do is you take that adapter, you install it to the top part of your radiator, and then you put the entire thing back in your system. So again, you have more than enough clearance for your memory. It's really great that this company just came up with this idea to make something like this possible, because again, we want to really cool off our 5950X, and we want to do it with a 360mm AIO. The last piece of hardware that I need to install is my graphics card, and I'm gonna be using the Zotac RTX 3090 Trinity. This is actually coming over from my previous build, and it's still more than powerful enough for everything that I do, including gaming as well as video editing. Wiring up the opposite side of the case is really easy. There are plenty of Velcro ties and cable tie downs, so you can keep things nice and tidy. But remember, nobody's really gonna see this side of the case, so if you wanna be lazy, you can go ahead and do that. The last thing that we need to do is install the front, side, and top panels of the case. They go on extremely easy, and then we have the most satisfying parts of this whole build. Turning my system on for the first time, I was completely blown away just how good it looked. I think if you're doing any type of O11 dynamic build, whether it's the normal size, the mini like we did, or even the XL version, if you match that with their Uni fans, it's gonna look absolutely amazing. And the thing I really like about the Uni fans is that the RGB lighting doesn't actually illuminate the fan blades, it illuminates the frame, and it just looks super cool, and all the different effects you can do, going through all of that stuff. It just looks awesome in your system. And that lighting is more than enough to light up the inside of your case, which I like, so we don't have to add extra things like RGB strips or anything like that. I'm really glad that I added the Phanteks AIO as well, because on the block itself, it does have that infinity mirror, which I think looks super cool. And then of course, we have our memory, and our memory looks amazing. It of course is the G.Skill Trident Z Royal. I love the way this stuff looks. It just looks awesome. And then we have the OLED screen on our motherboard. If I'm having an issue, I think something's running hot, I can just look over at the OLED screen, and I get real-time updates of temperatures, voltages, and frequencies. So I can just, again, I can just look over and sort of see what's going on, which I really like there. Everything turned out great. I'm really, really happy with this build, and hopefully this build lasts me quite a long time. Again, it's gonna be my daily driver for my daily task, gaming, streaming, video editing, everything that I'm gonna throw at this system will be more than capable of handling it. And again, I'm just glad the way it looks. It takes up less space on my desk, which I actually really like, because I'm really trying to simplify things. I don't wanna clutter my desk up or anything like that. And having a smaller footprint but also a more powerful system than my previous build. It's just gonna be awesome. So I'm really excited about all of that. Now, if you have any questions about this build, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And again, we will have links to everything that's in this build. And if you have any suggestions on things I should add or anything like that, of course, drop me a comment below as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.